So we're a few weeks away from Christmas, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some great gifts that you can buy the photographer in your life.
Yeah, these are all items that we use all the time, make our lives a little bit easier. So if you have a photographer on your shopping list, this is the video for you.
Stick around. So the first thing we're going to talk about is I'm actually going to recommend a book, believe it or not. So when you're first starting out in photography, there are so many things to learn and so many different technical things, and it can get mind-numbing, and there's YouTube videos and there's a million ways to get information on it. But this little book right here, it's from Scott Kelby, and if you're into photography at all, you know who Scott Kelby is. He's been like the foremost on photography education for years and years. So I got this book a few years back when I was learning, and it's a great little book to keep in your bag to just help you in any situation. It's filled with all sorts of practical, easy to understand. It's called a recipe book, and that's what it is. If you want a specific shot, it's going to give you all the ingredients you need to get that shot. And there's actually processing tips. So this one, I think it's $15 on Amazon. This is something that you really, this would be a great gift for a photographer. And if you are a photographer, this is a little, even if you think you're a great photographer, there are always things that you forget. So this is something that you definitely want to have in your bag.
This is a cable release, and every photographer must have a cable release in their bag. Basically, the way this works is you plug this end into your camera, and you've got a button on here, which basically works the same as your shutter button. You push this, it takes a picture. You can lock it on to take a long exposure and release it. You need this every time you're shooting long exposures. This way you're not shaking the camera when you push the shutter button. Anytime we're shooting on a tripod, we're shooting outdoors at night, we always use the cable release. It's a must-have for every photographer.
Absolutely.
This is the dedicated Canon one. There are a few different inputs for the Canon. I'll put links to the ones that I use down below, and Bill uses the dedicated Nikon version for his camera.
We've had the, there's the third-party brands that make battery grips, they make cable releases, all the accessories, and they are less expensive than the manufacturer. So Nikon, Canon, Sony, Fuji, they all make their own accessories for their cameras, but there's also third-party companies. I've actually had my third-party cable release fail on me out in the field, and I didn't have a cable release with me. So now I just stick with the Nikon version. You use the Canon versions. It's maybe, I don't know, double the price, maybe a little more than double the price, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it to not be missing a shot and fouling things up out in the field. Definitely need a cable release.
Okay, so this is a fun one. My wife got me this a few years ago. Now, this is you say, oh, she bought you a nice lens. No, she bought me a coffee cup. That's what this is. And, she got me the wrong kind. It's a Canon coffee cup, and, that's why I never use it. But I'm going to give it to Eric, actually. But they actually make these in different brands, and we'll put the links in for the different ones. But this is just a fun little, novelty gift to give to a photographer during the holidays, or, it's just a fun little thing. I think these are about $10, $15, but it's just a fun little gift, for the photographer, right?
Yeah, especially Canon.
Yeah.
All right, here's another accessory that I use all the time, and it's a circular polarizer filter. Basically what this does, it works the same as your polarizing sunglasses. You go outside on a sunny day, you put on your sunglasses, and it really just cuts out all the glare. And you can actually see, if you go outside and tilt your head back and forth a little bit, you can kind of see the same effect that it has when you put a filter like this on your lens. So basically what it does is it just cuts the glare. It cuts the glare off of reflective objects, vegetation. You'll see up in the sky the clouds will pop a little bit more because it'll make the blue a little bit deeper. This is a filter that I use on my lenses all the time, especially if I'm out during the daytime on a sunny day. It comes in all different sizes, so if you're buying one, you have to make sure that the filter thread is the same size as the lens that you're trying to buy it for. It also comes in all different brands. There are some really cheap brands. There's some more expensive ones. I use B&W filters. The number one reason I use them is their durability. I drop these things all the time. Really get a close-up look at this thing, you'll see it's all nicked up. It hasn't broken, it hasn't dented, it's still nice and round, it fits on perfectly. If you're going to get one, go with one of the better brand names, but I definitely recommend, Tiffin, Hoya, B&W, definitely recommend those. But if you have a photographer in your life, if you are a photographer, you definitely want to have one of these on the front of your lens.
Once you have that filter on your lens, you're going to need to clean it. And one of the things that we discovered a few years back, and we use daily, right? And it's always in my pocket, no
All
matter
day.
what. Yeah.
All day.
These are called lens pens, and it comes. This is like a little 3-pack that they sell. We picked this up at Photo Plus a couple of years ago, but basically what it is it's like a little charcoal tipped little, what would you call it? Like a it's a cleaner basically,
Yeah.
right? So instead of using like a rag or your T-shirt,
Right.
you pull one of these out. They have this, which goes on. You got a lens floating around here? Yeah. So you'll take it and you just kind of rub it on the lens, and it'll remove any smudges, dirt, water, whatever you have on there. And there's also on the other end of it, there's a little brush, and you can kind of brush away the dust. These are inexpensive, and they are something that we both use all of the time. They are always in our bags. We use them every time we use our cameras.
Yeah, I feel like every time I pull out my camera, I take the lens cap off and there's something on my lens. Sometimes I'll use the brush and just brush it away. Sometimes it's dust. Sometimes it's a water spot or something like that, and I'll use that charcoal tip. It comes right off.
Yeah, and this is if you are not a photographer and you're buying for a photographer, this is an absolute home run gift. Even if they have one, you can always use more, because these are the type of thing you put in your pocket, that you lose it, it's in the bottom of your bag. It's good to have a bunch of these. And if you are a photographer and don't use these, you need to have them.
Definitely. If you travel with your gear a lot like we do, one thing I'm always thinking about is safety and keeping your gear safe. Whether you're leaving it behind in a hotel room, you're leaving it behind in the trunk of a car, you want to make sure that it's there when you get back. There's a company called PacSafe that makes a few products. This is the one that I use, which basically is a metal wire that you can thread through camera bag, you can thread through certain portions of your gear, and wrap it around a piece of furniture, a support in the trunk of your car. Comes with a little lock, you can lock it on. Basically keeping your gear safe. There's a few different versions of this. One is like a mesh net you can wrap around your whole bag. But this basically works great to keep your stuff safe. It's never 100% foolproof. If somebody really wants to get your stuff, they're going to figure out a way to get it. But this just makes it much more difficult for the casual person who happens to be coming by and they notice something and they want to take a look and see what you got there. This basically deters, most situations.
Well, even like I know when we travel, hotel rooms, there are times where we don't want to take everything we have. If you're on vacation with your family, I know, there are times I've left my camera bag with maybe $5,000-6,000 worth of gear in it, like in my suitcase under my clothes, hidden, because I wasn't taking all that stuff with me for the day. Maybe I was going to do something active, or I just wanted to take my camera. So a way to secure your stuff is really something smart to have. And I actually don't have one of these, and that's something
Yeah, it's nice and long. You can wrap it around your bag. You can, weave it in and out of the buckles, and then wrap it around, like I said, a piece of furniture or a pipe or a support beam or something like that.
Just anything stationary that's fixed.
Yeah, just to keep it safe.
That makes sense. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is something that we both use. We discovered these about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. This has been a game changer for us, and in combination with the next thing on our list, has totally changed the way we carry and handle our cameras in an everyday way. This is a $10 item. It's a neoprene strap made by Optech, and every time I've been using this for a year and a half. It sits on your wrist like this. The camera hangs from it, and I can vouch for this product, saying that it is absolutely sturdy. It has never once failed me or you, and we use it all the time now instead of over-the-shoulder camera straps.
Yeah, I haven't used an over-the-shoulder camera strap since I got this a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and it's comfortable all day. I'll have this on my wrist all day, and it's comfortable. You can let it hang. I don't know. It's great. It's a great way to carry your camera around and not have, we have enough on our shoulders as is with backpacks and bags and things like that.
Yeah.
To be able to have your camera safe, and not have to carry it around on your shoulder, and it frees you up a little bit to be a little bit more creative, to put cameras in different places, and not have to take the strap off your body. To have it just in your hand like this all the time is great.
Yeah, I did a video on why I don't use a camera strap anymore. I'll put the link to it up here. But you can see we talk a little bit more in depth about it in that video. But it's really great. It's just a little locking clip that's super sturdy, and a neoprene strap that it in the hot weather it doesn't. I don't know. It just works in every single way. And for such an inexpensive item, I feel like this is something that everybody should have. It's just one of those things that's just a great, well thought out piece of gear that is, probably worth more than what they charge.
Definitely. Okay, another thing that we started using all the time a couple of years ago when we first discovered it is the Spider belt holster for the camera. So basically the way this works is it's a plastic item. There's a metal one also that Bill has.
This is the one I use.
It goes right onto your belt. And there's a peg, a little metal peg that you screw into the tripod socket on the bottom of your camera, and that basically just goes right into here and just sits there, and it basically just hangs from your waist. This thing that I have it attached to here is actually a tripod plate, so this is what I use on my camera. I screw this into the bottom of my camera, and now I have a tripod plate on the bottom of my camera all the time, and I can just use this clip and just clip it right in, and it hangs just like that.
Right, now they just came out with, in the last few months, they came out with another attachment, which is very similar to this, but what it is it's actually a tripod plate built into it. So now, instead of having the two together, which is the way I have it set up on my camera, it's one piece now, so which is even better. This is not an inexpensive item. You know, it's about, depending on which setup you get. They make actual full belts. They make the clip like Eric has. I love this one because it's just such a small little item. I can put it on in the morning. I don't even know it's there, and it's very sturdy. Eric's actually threads through, so you don't have to worry about that popping off your belt. I've never had this pop off the belt in about 2 years worth of use, so I don't really worry about it. But this is this goes along with the hand strap. So you have the hand strap, and then you just drop this into your belt, and it's a great way to carry a camera without having something on your shoulders.
Yeah, it's great to be, to have your hands and your arms and your shoulders free, especially when you're not using your camera. It's just right at your side, and it's really easy to pull off and shoot, and just snap it right back in place.
Yeah. So I mean, we could have done we could have mentioned some of the straps we've used over the years and all these other things that we used to use to carry our cameras, but really this is how we do it now. So this is the way we travel with our cameras.
Yep.
The next thing is it's a small little item. It's a quick thing. I've mentioned this before, but this is a great little gift. It's Think Tank makes it. There are other companies that make it, but it's a memory card holder. And depending on how you're shooting, how many memory cards you want to bring with you, and how big they are, I tend to use smaller memory cards, so I bring more of them with me. I need a place to store them, so as they fill up, where do I put them? I don't want to throw them in my bag. It's hard to keep the little cases that they come with. So this basically has, I think, 9 slots for all my memory cards. I can clip it to the inside of my bag, so I don't have to worry about losing this. And it's just a sturdy little item that Think Tank made. So this is about 5 years old. It still looks brand new, and I use it every time I'm out shooting. So this is just a great little item to have to store your memory cards.
All right, so we spend a lot of time out shooting in the sun. And we're always trying, you be aware of the sun. You want to try to stay in the shade. You want to stay out of direct sunlight for too long. But, once you get out there and you start shooting and you kind of get lost in the moment, you're just out there for hours sometimes in the blaring sun. So what I used to use is a baseball hat, which, basically is a baseball hat is what it is. The problem with a baseball hat is when you're shooting, that hard brim always gets in the way. So I'll have to go up to take a shot, boom, like this, and then the hat goes like this. Now I got to take it off, turn it around backwards, shoot, put it back on again. What I started using last year is this nice lightweight hat. This one's made by North Face, but there's a million different kinds just like this. It keeps the sun off not just my face, but off the back of my neck. And now when I'm ready to shoot, it's nice and flat, it's nice and soft. Without a lens cap on, of course. It's nice and soft. It's not bumping out of the way. I don't have to move it out of the way. It could always just stay where it is. Keep me nice and shaded. It's always 10 degrees cooler under this hat, no matter where you are.
I use one too, believe it or not. And, maybe they're not the coolest looking hats, but when you're out there in the sun, I mean, I actually love it. Especially, I've gone on quite a few cruises in the past, and these hats, I wear it all the time, whether I'm just hanging by a pool or we're at a beach or I'm out shooting. I used it in Palm Springs when it was 110 degrees outside. I needed this hat. Eric has the luxury of hair where I don't, and my head burns really quickly, so I have to wear a hat, and these type of hats are great for them.
Yeah, it's like I said before, it's very easy, no matter how much sunblock you have on, no matter how aware you are to try to stay out of the sun. Once you're out there shooting, it's very easy to just get lost and end up spending way too much time and end up getting burnt, and just makes your whole
flexible brim is the best to it.
Really
That's the key to it, because like you said, the baseball hat just it's in your way.
Like this, you never have to move it out of the way, it just stays where it is.
It's perfect.
So here's another accessory that we use. If you're out shooting portraits, especially outside, you want to reflect light, you want to diffuse light, you want to control the light the best that you can for your subject. This is called the Tri-Grip by a company called Lastolite. It folds up really small, and it's got a diffuser here like this, and it's got a couple of attachments that you can put over it to reflect light. White light, gold light, silver light. There's different color reflectors on there. Basically, you can just use this in one hand. It's got a handle on it, which is great, so you can use, if you don't have an assistant with you, you can shoot with one hand and use the reflector slash diffuser with the other hand. It's a great little thing, and it folds up nice. Something to keep with you all the time. It's great for portraits.
Yeah, so if you do have an assistant with you, what do you do with this? So this is a simple way. So let's say the sun was off to Eric's left here, and I was going to take a picture of him. I could have somebody hold this up like this. It'll actually block the sunlight, take all the shadows away from his face, and you're going to get a nice, clean, look on Eric's face. Everything will be exposed properly, but it's not going to affect your surroundings. So this is a great way to block the light. And then another way you can use it, it has attachments on it, right? This would have like a reflector on it, and you can then direct the sunlight into someone's face to fill their face with light, like a nice warm light.
Yeah, it's amazing how much of a difference it makes when you're controlling the light, even just a little bit more, when you're controlling the light, especially in portraits. It folds up really small, like this. I'll put it into a bag and just hang it off of my camera bag. It's very small and lightweight. I don't even know it's there. I'll just hang it off my bag and use it anytime I'm taking portraits. It's better than using a flash to fill in those shadows. It's better to be able to actually block the shadows or fill them in with a reflector than it is to use flash.
Yeah, and they make these in, probably sizes from this big up to 4 or 5 feet. So there's all different sizes. This is a good size because it's convenient. It's something that you could pack away easy, but it's big enough to actually make a difference. And the last thing on our list for this holiday gift guide is our very own book. Yes, a shameless plug for our book.
It's a great photography book on Disneyland. It's a really, really nice book. It's really well made. All the feedback we've gotten on it is just wonderful. And you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah, and it's filled with all sorts of facts about Disneyland, with our photography supporting all the text. So it's it's a great gift for a Disney fan. It's everybody that gets it seems to really like it, and so if you're looking for something along these lines, it's on Amazon, and we'll put a link for it in the bottom. So that's our holiday gift guide. These are all items that we as photographers use all of the time and have absolutely no reservations recommending to you.
So check out the links in the description below for links to all of these products, and happy holidays.
As always, click the thumbs up if you'd like to help support us, and if you like the videos.
Yep, and subscribe to the channel and click on that little notification bell. This way you get notified every time we post a video.
Okay, we'll see you in the next one.
Okay, if you travel with your gear a lot like we do, one thing I'm always thinking about is safety and keeping my gear safed. Safed.